But the point.
You could build a set of stairs that would last a test of time, and you could go to the private sector and they probably could design it for you for $5,000 or $10,000. This is just basically showing you what's possible. I mean,
while the city works on a solution, the couple is working on putting up a sign.
Just a warning, you know, it's there for you to use. However, it's on your own.
All the while standing up to the city over a staircase.
And coming up on 7 Eyewitness News at 5, we're heading out to all the communities affected by the wild weather yesterday, where the cleanup is just now getting underway. We'll take a look at what there is to be done today. Plus, Williamsville East students about to become jukebox heroes. We'll let you know why. Right now on 7 Eyewitness News, crews are out. They've been there overnight. They're cleaning up from those 2 tornadoes that swept through western New York.
And at the height of things, more than 20,000 NYSEG customers were without power. That has since diminished. We're going to show you what it looks like right now and when you can expect power back on at your house.
There was extensive damage done to the Hamburg Fairgrounds. So what does this mean for the Erie County Fair? We've got live team coverage this morning.
And I'm calling it the calm after the storm, and a lot of cleanup to do today. 7 super Dopplers showing dry conditions in western New York. We'll tell you how long that will last.
And we're going to look at some of the most powerful images from the storm. They came from you. Your pictures and videos ahead.
You're watching 7 Eyewitness News with Andy Parker, Katie Morse, Ed Dranch, and Autumn Lewandowski.
Top of the hour on a Friday morning. Brand new video coming in this morning while you were sleeping. Crews were out in Hamburg cleaning up after that EF2 tornado. I want to show you the National Fuel Team marking gas lines to make sure it's safe for National Grid workers. 100 National Guard members are out right now working to clear all that damage.
And the Hamburg Fairgrounds has its own extensive cleanup effort underway. The tornado whipped picnic tables around. You saw that one just on the roof there. Parts of the grandstand also heavily damaged. We're going to take a live look at their progress in just a few minutes.
And we're also getting some brand new pictures and video from you this morning. Look at this amazing video of this second tornado. That's the EF1 in Holland. This is from Julie in Spalding, and I want to show you the power outages these tornadoes caused throughout western New York. We're also watching power outages in Wyoming County as well, but Erie County hardest hit here. At the height of all of this, 20,000 NYSEG customers were without power, and you can see here in Erie County just over 1,500. This was just updated within the last 15 minutes. Hardest hit this morning is still the town of Holland. Yesterday, it was Orchard Park that was without power. We're going to dive in street level now, and I want to show you a lot of this power is expected back on by 6 o'clock this morning, although NYSEG crews are still assessing a lot of these outages. And you can see here on Parker Road and Portage Road, power expected back on there around 10 o'clock this morning. We're going to stay on top of this one for you and bring you updates throughout the morning, Katie.
All right, Ed, thanks. And this morning, we are following up on the area's hardest hit by those 2 tornadoes. We have team coverage from Liz Lewin. She's live at the fairgrounds. Twila Nugent on Best Street in Hamburg in our mobile weather lab. But first, we've got to check in with 7 First Alert meteorologist Autumn Lewandowski. Autumn, so many people going to be out cleaning up today. Let's take a look at what they were up against yesterday and what they're facing today.
Well, as we go throughout the morning, it's a calm beginning. It's very mild. I shouldn't even call it mild. It's warm to start our morning. Temperatures are in the 70s. This wider shot has us in western New York dry at this point. We're going to have a very pleasant, calm day across western New York and through much of the Great Lakes, actually, as we go throughout the day. Looking at western New York, the only thing that we're contending with this morning is some areas of fog, especially down across the southern tier. From Niagara Falls to Buffalo, we have about a 4 or 5 mile worth of visibility. The southern tier is just about a half a mile. We're in the 70s right along the lakeshore. I was mentioning it being very warm. It's a warm beginning. Even for the southern tier, we're in the mid 60s at this point. For the day today, we'll have temperatures in the lower 80s. We do again have that early fog, but mostly sunny into the afternoon and a nice breeze to help us get through the day as well. Good for cleanup as we go throughout the day today. We'll talk about the weekend forecast coming up.
A lot of cleanup to do this morning, Autumn. Thank you. This morning there are some frustrated car owners around western New York. The EF2 tornado blew out windows of dozens of cars in the Hamburg gaming parking lot. One car was actually thrown up against the other. It's that eastern side of the fairgrounds that saw the most extensive damage from that tornado. This morning they have hours of cleanup ahead of them. They have a deadline here, August 9th, which is when the Erie County Fair opens. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Liz Lewin live for us at the fairgrounds this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Ed and Katie. The countdown is on to the fair. Take a look at this cat truck behind me, serving as way more than just part of the cleanup crew. It is the barricade to the entrance of the fairgrounds. Now, we are told that Hamburg Gaming Center will open sometime today. As for the fairgrounds itself, well, it was under full setup mode yesterday, and that was no exception, even with the tornadoes. Between the couple hundred full-time staff, seasonal employees and contractors, people have been putting in countless hours to get the grounds ready for their most highly anticipated event of the year. Communications and PR manager Marty Beniaz says yesterday luck was on their side. Things could have turned out totally differently if timing had been different.
It was very fortunate because during this time of the year, we're 20 days out from the fair. So at any one time, you've got a couple hundred full-time employees, seasonal employees, individual contractors who are preparing for the fairgrounds. A lot of the damage you're seeing, the kiosks, the picnic tables, the booths, and everything else that are putting on, we're just starting to go out into the fairgrounds.
Okay, we lost Liz Lewin, but she again is live at the fairgrounds in Hamburg this morning, where they have a lot of cleanup underway. We'll check back in with her shortly. And check out these pictures. These are from Chestnut Ridge Park, right along the storm's path. Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz tweeting these pictures of trees snapped in half and debris falling all across the trails there. Now, this is the park where a lot of hikers go to see the eternal flame. Poloncarz says the timing of this storm was lucky because no one was hurt.
Ourselves very lucky that we have no reports of deaths or major injuries. If this storm had hit while the fair was in order, or if during a weekend when we have thousands of people in Chestnut Ridge Park, who knows what would have happened.
Now, Union Road was closed for a little while. That's right near the park, but it was reopened overnight. And the Hamburg tornado did hit a lot of populated neighborhoods as well. Have to show you this security video from a home. Look at that car get picked up, spun in the air, and then hit the ground. That was sent to us by Kevin Carras. Now, neighbors along Best Street in Hamburg, also out well into the evening, they were trying to clean up debris. Their neighborhood, one of the worst hit residential areas. That's where 7 Eyewitness News reporter Tweelon Nugent is headed there right now. She's in the mobile weather lab. We're going to join her live at 5:30. And Sheriff Timothy Howard says power companies may incur the most expensive bills when it comes to this storm.
The greatest loss is going to be to the power company and their expense for repairing it, but a lot of beautiful trees that are down on homes, and we've toured part of the area already, some areas that we couldn't get to. As the trees continue to be cleared, it's one of the reasons we have our ATVs here, that if we get an emergency call, we've got off-the-road vehicles that can get to these areas.
Again, so many people going to be out cleaning up today. So if you're looking after any damage, make sure you take photos for insurance purposes.
Okay, Katie, thank you. 5:07 on a Friday morning, the National Weather Service was able to confirm that 2 tornadoes touched down in western New York. The second one was an EF1. The first, though, the EF2, and that one was in Hamburg. So, Autumn, walk us through what we need to know here in terms of the difference between an EF2 and an EF1, and it's all to do with the winds.
It has a lot to do with that, and it has a lot to do with the damage that they're seeing. It's not something where there is a like a wind, I want to call it a wind catcher, an anemometer.
Sure.
There isn't like anemometers everywhere where it's constantly getting a wind speed. This all has to do with the damage that they see and really the height in which they see it. A lot of these tree branches were broken off maybe 10, 15 feet off the ground. You could see a Subaru. I mean, that's a 3,000-pound car being lifted. So being able to see the damage and then also being able to see different things of all the video that were pretty much displaced across Hamburg leads to that.
So when you actually saw that car lift up off of its tires, you saw it almost rotate. Would that almost indicate that there was some rotation in the clouds?
You know, I'm not sure that that is how that, because straight line winds could actually push it, depending on how the air can come up underneath the car. That could probably lift it and move it too.
Fascinating.
But it's the way that the trees are twisted and things are thrown into, you know, it's all displaced. If it was straight line winds, it'd go down straight.
Well, we'll check in with the National Weather Service for you throughout the morning, Katie, and stay on top of this nonetheless.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, unbelievable damage yesterday over the course of the storm and its aftermath. A lot of you have taken the time. You sent us your pictures. We want to say thank you for that. And you can see a full gallery right now. They're on our WKBW app. We can also post them, or we have them posted on our Facebook page as well. And continue to post those pictures for us, and we'll continue our team coverage of this tornado cleanup coming up in your next half hour.
5:09 on a Friday morning. This is breaking right now. A deadly under-the-sea earthquake that struck between Greece and Turkey. I want to show you some new pictures coming in from the Greece side, which is where 2 people died. The latest count says a total of 200 others were hurt. It's a magnitude 6.7 and caused a lot of damage. Listen. This was in Turkey. You can get a sense of panic as people ran through the streets. No deaths reported at this point in Turkey, but at last update, at least 70 people were hurt there.
5:09, President Trump is reportedly asking about how much pardon power he has as the Russia investigation unfolds. That's according to the Washington Post, which says he is trying to undercut special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. The White House also reportedly looking into Mueller's team of investigators, looking for potential conflicts of interest that could discredit the probe. And this morning, Republican leaders are trying to figure out exactly what they'll have to change to get enough support for their Obamacare repeal bill. That goal is expected to go, or the goal here is expected to vote early next week. President Trump told lawmakers not to leave for their August break without putting a bill on his desk.
For almost a decade, former Buffalo Bill O.J. Simpson has been behind bars, but in 3 months, he'll be a free man. Simpson was unanimously granted an early release from his 9 to 33-year sentence for kidnapping and armed robbery back in 2007. The parole board in Nevada, where Simpson is in prison, says he has stayed out of trouble while serving his time. Retired State Supreme Court Justice Penny Wolfgang spoke with us about what's next for Simpson and the conditions he'll have to follow.
There's reporting. There's many conditions such as not associating with felons. There'll be drug testing. There may be alcohol testing. There's restrictions on leaving the state where you are in parole. So, and as I said, there may be others. You know, each state has different ones.
If his proposed release plans are approved, Simpson could be out of prison as soon as October.
5:10 on your Friday morning, and the man who admitted he lit a volunteer firefighter's apartment on fire going to be sentenced today. Matthew Gerardo faces a Niagara County judge this afternoon. He pleaded guilty to arson in that fire at Ken Walker's home on Oliver Street in North Tonawanda last summer. Gerardo could be sentenced to up to 5 to 10 years in prison.
Today is the last day to apply for New York's first affordable college program called the EXCELSIOR Scholarship. If you still need to apply, you'll need copies of your state income tax returns, a student aid report, and a copy of your college transcript. If you're already a student, you can find more details about this scholarship on our WKBW app.
Well, straight ahead, a woman makes an explosive discovery in her Buffalo basement, and this one dates back 100 years. You've got to see this.
And a City of Tonawanda mom's love for her son is affecting the lives of other children all over the world. We'll introduce you to her next. It's 5:12. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News on a Friday.
Ed knows the song now. Take a look at the Sky Watch 7. Foreigner will be in town. It's going to be a lot quieter today. I can't wait to show you the forecast.
I did not know it about 24 hours ago, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Don't worry, we brushed him up on his 80s music trivia yesterday.
It was a good time. Hey, a Buffalo woman renovating her home ends up with a bomb squad at her front door after spotting an artillery shell in her basement.
This shell dates all the way back to World War I. Judith Sobreski says she knew what it was as soon as she picked it up, so she called police and ran from her home.
My daughter and I, who's 7, have been here for 2 years, and that we've been in this house with this munition, this artillery shell in our basement. It's pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, unbelievable story. It took officials 4 hours to get the shell out of the Sobreskis' Parkside Avenue home. She says the next time she's doing renovations, she plans to keep an eye out for any other memorabilia that might be left. Who knows what she'd find next?
Hello.
There's nothing stronger, we know, than a mother's love.
A City of Tonawanda mom with the heart of a lion is fighting for answers when it comes to her little boy. 3-year-old Sebastian Shepler was diagnosed with a syndrome called AUTS2 in December. It can lead to serious health problems and developmental delays. This condition was only identified in 2013 and is so rare there are only a few dozen cases documented worldwide. Now Sebastian's mom is leading the charge to get answers.
Choose his diagnosis, but it doesn't define him. Sebastian has an opportunity to help define what AUTS2 means.
Well, through her determination and drive, Amanda helped organize a new international study happening right now at the National Institutes of Health in Maryland. We have more on this incredible journey in a special 2-part series airing tonight on 7 Eyewitness News at 6 and 11.
For a lot of us, Amazon is a go-to for everything from household cleaners, fashions, even car parts.
But if you're going there for groceries, you might be disappointed. Consumer reporter John Matarese shows us why, so you don't waste your money.
Amazon is the world's largest retailer. It's put dozens of competitors out of business when it comes to books, music, electronics, and clothing. Now it's seriously getting into groceries. But there are still some things you might want to avoid buying there. Amazon is more popular than ever, judging by the record sales at the 3rd annual Amazon Prime Day. We all know you can find great deals on toys, electronics, and many more items at Amazon. But what about groceries? Not so much, according to a report from MoneyWatch.com. It says you have to wait for shipment, plus you often have to order 6 or more of the same item. And do you really want ketchup in the mail? MoneyWatch also says it's not a great place to buy hardware and tools. You usually need those immediately. Plus, you want to feel a hammer or saw in your hand before you buy. Also, furniture. MoneyWatch says you should see and sit on a couch before you order it. From the Doesn't That Stink file, the fact that Amazon is sometimes more expensive than brick-and-mortar stores. MoneyWatch compared prices and claims Amazon is not very competitive when it comes to groceries and cleaning supplies. Doesn't that stink? It found all detergent, Mr. Clean, and Murphy's oil soap were substantially cheaper in local supermarkets. With Amazon's purchase of Whole Foods, it will soon get very aggressive in groceries. But for now, the corner supermarket still has its advantages, so you don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery, 7 Eyewitness News.
Today, the Big Yellow Barn in Clarence is going to be filled with music for Rock the Barn. Local bands like Bon Journey going to take the stage to help raise money for Meals on Wheels. Rock the Barn starts at 4 and it runs through Saturday.
All right, 5:19 on your Friday morning. Let's get you out the door with the most accurate forecast. Autumn, what is next, aside from the cleanup for so many Western New Yorkers affected by this storm yesterday?
They're going to Rock the Barn.
Yeah, right. They need a cocktail.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It's the calm after the storm.
Yeah.
A lot of times when we have such I don't want to call it such devastation because people weren't injured or hurt or there were no fatalities. But I mean, to have so much damage after such an event in the atmosphere, it typically is calmer the next day. And that's exactly what we're going to have today. So if you can, maybe get to Rock the Barn, might as well show you the forecast for it. We're going to have temperatures in the 80s, a few clouds as we head into the evening, but primarily a sunny day. We'll have temperatures remaining in the mid 70s as we go towards 11 o'clock at night. So if maybe you aren't really going to be able to get out and enjoy your evening and it's more in the form of cleanup, you'll be able to do that as well all across Western New York all day long and into tonight. As we take a look at this wider shot here, we have an area of high pressure that's going to help us out for the day today, keep us mainly dry. And looking at us across Western New York over the past hour, there's nothing much on Doppler screen to talk about other than some fog to begin our morning. We have temperatures near 70 degrees, mid 60s for the southern tier. And as we make our way into the afternoon, downtown, we're getting into the lower 80s. We'll have a little bit of cloud cover, a ton of sunshine. And by the time we hit the evening, we're still going to be in the mid 70s as the sun begins to go down. As we go through our Friday, we're going to be watching temperatures in the 70s. Hour by hour, we're looking for our Saturday, we're going to have an increase in cloud cover as we go throughout the afternoon. What we'll find is the increase in clouds towards the noon hour, and the better threat for rain and even some stronger storms are going to be along I-86 right near the state line as we head into the afternoon. Buffalo, Niagara Falls, Batavia, Warsaw, not out of the question to get some shower activity through the day, but the primary threat for any rain and heavy rain is going to be through the southern tier. So those that have any outdoor plans for our Saturday down across the south, you're unfortunately going to deal with a lot of rain at times, and during the evening everyone begins to dry out. Sunday, however, we have the next shot of rain and thunderstorms to come into the area. Temperatures on Monday, with still some storms around, will be in the mid 70s, lower humidity levels, and then a little bit back towards average for the end of the week.
Autumn, thank you. This morning we're getting an update on those wildfires burning out west. More homes have been destroyed. We'll take you there.
Plus, some kids in Williamsville are about to take the stage with a band that's biggest hit came years before they were born. It's 5:21. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News.
It's 5:24 on your Friday. Welcome back. The Detweiler fire burning near Yosemite National Park in California, now coming even closer to more homes.
We've got some brand new video to show you about how intense those flames still are. Look at this. New numbers show how bad it is as well. 50 homes are gone. 49 other buildings are also destroyed. 1,500 more are still in danger this morning. Thousands of people are still under an evacuation order, though some still refuse to leave. Uber drivers, you could soon see a bump in your paycheck. The ride-sharing company is boosting salaries, making sure employees are paid fairly, regardless of gender or race. This comes as Uber tries to repair its reputation after a series of sexual harassment allegations and the departure of their CEO and co-founder. These new changes take effect the 1st of next month. 5:25, a high school choir from Williamsville East is getting the chance of a lifetime to perform with an iconic rock band.
Yeah, those students won a video contest. They're going to perform with the band at Darien Lake tonight. They're singing backup during I Want to Know What Love Is with Foreigner. The choir's been practicing all summer for this opportunity, even though the band was popular, let's be honest, before these students were even born. If you ask them to name another Foreigner song besides this one, they said they might not be able to tell you.
I think we've all heard it at least once from our parents, either on the radio or like in a movie or something.
They should know the 80s music. That's where all our great rock came from. Foreigner was actually my first concert that I attended when I was a young teenager at the Ralph.
Well, hey, here's what we definitely know. This performance is going to bring a number of generations all together, and what a great opportunity for them. How fun.
Okay, frankly, I couldn't name another Foreigner song either.
I know, we went through this yesterday.
Yeah. Thanks for schooling me.
Yes.
Happening today, a new Habitat for Humanity project will be started in Niagara Falls. The home, which will be built on 60th Street, will have 3 bedrooms and a bathroom. The project will be completed in the spring of next year. Habitat for Humanity has a group of 15 volunteers, but will need 200 to get the job done. You can find out more about this project and how to get involved on our WKBW app.
By the way, thanks for not saying I could school you because I was older. I appreciate
well,
that.
I mean, you just did yourself in.
Yeah. Well, straight ahead, coming up, Governor Cuomo dispatching 100 National Guard troops. They'll be helping with tornado cleanup here.
Also ahead this morning, we're hearing from the man who lives at this home. Watch his car. We'll hear what happened and what his reaction was straight ahead.
That's crazy. And Senator John McCain issuing a statement. It comes for the first time since he was diagnosed with cancer. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News at 5.
Bottom of the hour on a Friday morning, from Holland to Colden, Orchard Park, and Hamburg. This morning, we're plotting the damage and getting a first-hand look at what these two tornadoes did to western New York.
It's Operation Cleanup Mode here at Hamburg Fairgrounds with just a few weeks to go until the Erie County Fair. Cleanup is in order, and we are tracking everything you need to know about where they stand post-tornado.
And his video's been seen by the nation. On World News with David Muir this morning, we're hearing from the man who owns that car.
And taking a look at 7 Super Doppler across the Great Lakes and into western New York, a pleasant day is on the way. I'll have your 7 First Alert forecast.
And at the bottom of the hour on a Friday morning, NYSEG and National Grid teams are out right now taking care of power lines after 2 tornadoes swept through the south towns. This is Best Street and Marine Drive in Hamburg.
And this is going to be a frequent sight in southern Erie County for some time. Trees uprooted by those high winds. This one was in Orchard Park. I want to say good morning to you. What a day it was yesterday.
Well, and thank goodness to hear that it's going to be pleasant today. A lot of people have a lot of cleanup to do, but there was one person in the middle of everything.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Our Andy Parker live on Facebook as the tornado touched down. Check this out.
See, it is a blanketed gray sky. We've got some low clouds moving fast. Winds have shifted direction on us here a number of times. Where it's going, again, all of these clouds. I'm not sure how this is getting picked up on the phone.
Okay, you can watch that whole video right now that's posted on our Facebook page. Again, Andy really right in the middle of that storm.
I mean, you will actually see in his Facebook Live that's been shared nearly 1,000 times at this point, the moment that funnel cloud touches down and the clouds kind of start churning out in 2 different locations, it's really fascinating. And Autumn, we know that you were out there watching the entire thing as well, keeping us safe here in the 7 First Alert studios, but I'm glad to hear that it's going to be calm today.
It's going to be a nice afternoon, morning. It's a very muggy beginning to the day, but I want to take you back to yesterday. The storm reports from the track of this system, you could tell exactly where it was going, and it came just from Hamburg right down to Wellsville. You could see we've had over 24 storm reports, and there was much more damage than that, from power lines and trees down, trees uprooted. We've had things flown from one spot to another, a picnic table on top of a roof at the Hamburg Fairgrounds, all the way through Holland, where that second tornado, the EF1, touched down. There were several power lines down, and there was still a Doppler indicated tornado near Canandaigua, and that's where there were power lines down and trees down there as well with one of the storm reports. And this is what we were able to catch through some of the video as well. A lot of roads were impassable because of power lines being down or trees covering them through the day. A lot of emergency vehicles were out as well within these storms, and they were risking their lives as well. So thank you to everyone that helped us stay safe across western New York yesterday. Today, more cleanup continues, and we widen out the view. It's going to be far and wide before you can find any type of storms that's going to make its way into the region. What we're going to find for the day today are temperatures in the lower 80s and really nice conditions, aside from the mugginess that we're dealing with now. We'll talk much more about it from the inside in just a bit.
Okay, Autumn, thank you. We're tracking storm damage this morning. This is the aftermath of that EF1 tornado in Holland. And I want to show you this massive tree uprooted in Hamburg, leaning on a house that clearly has some roof damage. The storm affected 4 towns. Its path went from Hamburg all the way through Orchard Park, Holden, and into Holland. This is a picture tweeted out by Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz showing all of the damage. Each X on the map represents a point of damage. The Erie County Fair has this damage to contend with this morning, with the fair just weeks away. They insist they'll be ready. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Liz Lewin live for us at the Hamburg Fairgrounds this morning. Liz?
Good morning, Ed and Katie. You can see it's Operation Cleanup right now for Hamburg Fairgrounds. You've got the cat truck that's serving not only as part of that cleanup crew, but a barricade in addition to the barricades right here behind me, and police posted up right outside the Hamburg Gaming Center. I'm told the gaming center will open sometime today, but as for yesterday, it was a day many people will never forget. Now, tornadoes aren't something Western New Yorkers are accustomed to, which means for the fairgrounds, yesterday presented a new set of challenges, even with an emergency command center on site and proper proper training, this kind of force is tough to get ahead of, especially in such a short period of time. Communications and PR manager Marty Binias says looking back and now knowing everyone's safe, you can never take safety for granted.
You can never have enough training. You can never keep on looking for ways to be safe in the property. Never take any alerts lightly. So even if it's a severe thunderstorm alert that you might see, that it can turn quickly into something like we encountered today.
Now, Binias says right now it is just about getting ahead of the game and picking up where they left off. Obviously, a lot of cleanup in order, but again, everyone is safe. As for yesterday, nearly 100 cars, if not more, were damaged right outside the gaming center. An estimated amount of 3,500 people here on the property. Again, the Erie County Fair just a few weeks away. All hands are on deck. For now, we're live in Hamburg. Liz Lewin, 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Liz, thank you.